gentlemen, welcome back to Zero Dark Nerdy, the sexiest pop culture podcast on the planet. I'm your host, Brian, a.k.a. El Nino, and today I'm joined with...
Mateo, a.k.a. that guy.
And it's Jadon, a.k.a. the broke-ass Elon Musk, a.k.a. embrace the Martian, for fuck's sake.
J Timber, a.k.a. Chaco Taco.
a.k.a. Golden Pipes.
It's Afika, a.k.a. Feek the Freak, a.k.a. Black Jon Snow, a.k.a. Afika of House Numalo, first of his name. Yeah! Roller of spliffs. Consumer of burritos and oysters.
Yeah. I wish I had all the air horns for that fucking AKA. That's probably the best AKAs we've had in a long, long time.
Roller of spliffs.
So this episode is all about the man that you just heard, Greensboro's very own Grimsley High School graduate, Afika. Thank you so much for joining us in studio today.
Yes, sir.
Grimsley?
Thank you for having me.
Grimsley. Oh, hell no. He is joined with two Page alumni.
Bro, is there Page in the room?
Yeah,
I swear to... If there's Page in the room, I don't breathe Page air, bro.
So I actually missed that story when you guys were talking about it. I want a quick little recap of that before we get into it.
We're just like backing up, talking about which high schools we went to. And that's like, I went to Page and I was joking around like, what if I actually stormed out of the room? And then we just started dialing it up.
Yeah, and then I was like, then I said like, oh, then he would get mad at me and never talk to me again and be like, really? You would really set that up, bro? Like, you know how I feel about this shit, bro.
Like,
This is
17
totally
years
unacceptable.
later, still into the school ride.
I'll never forget. I'll never forget that day in September '98.
Never forget, bro.
They spray painted a rock, man.
They stole our G from Grimsley.
I'm pretty sure
Our
that
boy
happened.
Ryan
I
Morgan
think
used
that's
to do that.
accurate. Yes,
Shout
that
out to
happened.
Ryan Morgan. I'm pretty sure he got away
Kool-Aid
with
and pool.
it. So if you can, for our fans here in the U.S. and, of course, our fans all over the world, for those that may not know who you are, tell us a little bit about what's been going on this year, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, man. So life is pretty cool right now because up in New York, you know, you're constantly hustling, doing music, but you slowly come to the conclusion that popular music isn't written, it's marketed. So how have I been trying to figure out ways to market myself? Well, for starters, started a creative agency with a friend up north where I get to be creative director, where we do like brand storytelling for different people, for different companies and stuff. And I don't know anything about that space. I'm a complete newbie. I don't know what's going on ever, but it turns out...
You're the talent, though. You don't have to know.
Well, it turns out... I just smile at people.
Hey, brother.
I'm on a conference call silent, just smiling.
Hey, brother.
Yeah,
you
I'm
want to
here.
keep your job. You got
Did I do
to
it?
keep smiling, brother.
Oh, I showed up at the right time. I'm here.
Right.
And I'm me.
But the only reason it works is because what I always tell people is that the skill set of pop songwriting is the exact same thing as the skill set for brand storytelling. It's taking the human experience, boiling it down into simple words that are supposed to drive action, tell a story, build loyalty, and grab attention. It's all the same shit.
Right.
So that's the only reason why it works. But I say that because, you know, that's been kind of keeping a roof over my head and kind of getting me more serious about, all right, what do I want my professional artistry to look like? And it's also giving me skills to kind of put myself out into the universe in the ways I've been needing for a while. So with that energy, I went into like January, February, and got hit up by the producers at Songland, who originally invited me to be out on the show, then asked for a song called Neverland to be on the show, then told me to get ready to fly, and then the Michael Jackson documentary came out.
God.
Oh my God. And then they went dark for like a few days, a couple weeks, and then eventually they hit me up to have a different song on the show. So I went out there and filmed in March. Have been kind of sitting back with my lips sealed about it for months.
A lot of contracts.
Good on you.
Lot of contracts, yeah. But the episode aired on July 2nd, and now I'm like just riding the wave, you know.
Yeah, you out there, man.
So
That's remarkable.
how's it been since it's aired, as far as the reaction, you know,
Man.
everything like that?
My Spotify listeners have gone up around like 500%.
Wow.
The views are on the YouTube video are steady stacking consistently. Like they're growing at a faster rate than any of my previous videos I put out.
All right.
And people keep commenting, put this in the Black Panther 2 soundtrack.
Yeah, I saw
over
that.
and over
I
and
saw that.
over and over again. So, I don't know how those decisions are made, how those gatekeepers
With
kind
more
of
comments.
with more comments. Come on.
And
Hell
petitions.
yeah.
Everybody's doing a petition nowadays.
Right, exactly.
We got to do a petition
We
for
got to
it.
make a petition. Yeah. That
the
sounds
right
like a really
forever.
good idea.
The right person notices.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly what
Yep.
it is. Yeah, man.
So how did they reach out to you for Songland?
It's crazy. Yeah, they reached out to me. They reached out. So they had a casting process, right, where they would ask the general public to just submit songs to be on the show.
Okay.
But what it sounds like they quickly found out is that it was just mad inefficient. Like you got to imagine. No barrier of entry. Everybody submit your songs.
God.
There's a lot of shitty songs.
This is a song I recorded in my refrigerator.
Dead ass. I'm tempted to show you the shitty songs people have sent me since I've been on Songland.
Oh, you're getting
And then he pulls up my songs. Hey JT, could you leave the room?
Jay Timmer.
This is Mr. Meantime song.
Like, do I even know
Sound like
you,
doo-doo.
bro?
You totally know me.
Dude, I'm right here.
It's so funny.
Well, that's dope, man.
Yeah, so they had a bunch of like shitty submissions, so they changed the process, and instead the music supervisor just started leveraging his relationships with publishing companies and reaching out to them and being like, yo, who are your rising star songwriters? So even with that though, I still feel so incredibly blessed because I got to talk to him at the launch party for the event, and he told me he got a playlist of probably 40 songs, and he only chose 2 people off of that playlist. One was this chick out in the UK, and then one was me. So then, now I'm in contact with him. He originally wants this song, but then he asked to hear my whole catalog, and then I send him my whole catalog. He then switches it from this song to this other song, Neverland, like what I was talking about. We fill out the paperwork. Then the Michael Jackson documentary drops. They go dark. And I'm like, dang it, this opportunity fizzled because of the timing of a documentary right now.
Timing's
Yeah. Yeah. But then as it turned out, he ends up selecting a different song. And what's so, I don't know what the word for it is, serendipitous,
Right.
miraculous, alignment, whatever that word is.
Say it loud for the people in the back.
Come on, whatever that word is, he literally, like, I front-loaded the playlist that I gave him with, like, my most up-the-middle pop songs. Because I'm trying to think like an NBC producer.
Sure,
They're making a show for Middle America. What are the most Middle America pop songs? The second to the last song on the entire, like, 30-song playlist is this song called Chosen. And if I had one song that was like my artistry branded sound that I would want the world to know me for, like, producing, it would be that song.
That was it.
Yeah.
So, like, it couldn't have gone...
Fantastic.
It couldn't have gone better. I mean, like, and I mean that, like, even if I won the episode, which I don't even view it as winning. Like, everybody who made it on the
did
show.
win.
You won.
Won.
Yeah, you won by being on the show.
We won by being on the
Exactly.
show.
More
One
exposure
minute-
is winning.
Exactly.
Come on.
Yeah.
If we were to try to pay for that publicity, it'll
can't.
cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Oh, yeah.
If we were to try to pay to get in a writing session
Right.
with Ryan Tedder, Shane McAnally, Esther Deeb, it would cost you. I don't even know what you would cost
Did
you.
you
I
have
don't even
any
know if you could
idea
pay
it was
for
going to
that.
be Aloe Black?
No. Well, actually, that's not true. They told us like the day before we were going to shoot it that it
No
was going to be
shit.
Aloe Black. Yeah.
Love
That's
that.
right.
yeah.
That's right. And The Rock knows you.
And The Rock knows me now. Here's another crazy thing.
He's in multiple films.
Yeah.
You may have heard of him.
Yeah. He's a
may have heard of
thespian. Yeah.
He's a thespian. Don't call him that. He gonna
Dwayne.
get mad.
His
You don't know
name's
what that means.
It's like the episode of Entourage. Yo, they called you a thespian, Vinny. Like, yeah, I know. That's what I am.
It's so funny. But yeah, man, it was dope. It was real dope. And here's another like silver lining why I keep having to tell people like there's no such thing in winning with it. It's like so many Hollywood stories and so many stories of people like doing entertainment stuff. You can film a whole thing. You can record an entire album and then the label decides to shelve it and it never sees the light of day.
Right.
You can record an entire pilot episode, an entire season, and then some NBC exec changes his mind. It never sees the light of day.
Right.
So on Songland, a lot of people don't know this. The episode started off with 5 songwriters.
Okay.
In post-production, they realized that it took too long, so they had to cut off one songwriter from each episode. So now, when you really look at it, it's like 4 songwriters went on this show. 3 of them had to give away half of their ownership of a song in exchange for the publicity. 1 of them didn't, and I'm the one guy.
That's awesome.
That's do it.
I think you got the best trade-off on the planet.
Come on, like when I really look at it, it's one of those things that requires like critical thinking to actually look at it like that. But deadass, that's what it is. And you know, if I can, I want to shout out my boy.
Oh, shout out whoever you want, man.
Yeah, Jeff Goldford, who is this amazingly talented dude who's on the episode with us. This guy, when he went out on stage and sang a song for the judges, Aloe Black had actually recognized him from a previous studio session and was just singing his praises on camera. Said that he's one of the best voices of our generation. Wow. Shane McAnally like fell in love with him. He got off stage after he shot his segment and is like wide-eyed, bushy-tailed, bright-starred, like feeling his life changing in the moment. People coming up to him like, hey, when can we get you out to Nashville, all this stuff. And then he finds out months later, cut from the episode.
No shit.
Can you imagine, man? And so I'm giving a shout out.
I'd start drinking.
Yo, I mean, he took it like such a G. And if Jeff, you ever get to hear this, man, I just want the world to know how dope and talented you are. You were my favorite dude on that show. So dope. And the world needs to know who you are. So every chance I get, I'm going to remind people of the rock star who was part of the show that was left to the hands of editing decisions.
Right. Some fucking suit somewhere.
Some suit somewhere.
Say the name again.
Jeff Goldford. His Instagram is iGoldford on IG. Yeah.
Right on.
Love that.
Yeah,
I mean, trust me, we give shout-outs all the time, and we try to give credit where credit's due. So
Hell yeah.
I definitely appreciate that.
Hell yeah.
Now, on the single Chosen itself, now you were also the producer and songwriter on that, so you produced that track yourself?
So I actually started that song. I co-produced it. So it started in a studio session with a guy named Christian Metis, who is a quickly rising star
he's great
producer.
guy.
Yeah, he Christian.
Yeah, I know Chris, yeah.
Is he local too?
He's not local. He's in LA now, but I started
He's in
working
Brooklyn.
with him in Brooklyn.
Okay.
But he actually did 2018's biggest rock single on the Billboard charts.
Yeah.
He did that one. It was also the longest running indie rock single in the history of that chart for
Oh,
Billboard.
my gosh.
Yeah,
The song by Lovely the Band
Lovely the
called
Band.
Broken. He
Okay.
also got his first Grammy nomination this year, produced a lot of Pink's album. He's just like
He's on the up and up
a
and up.
meteoric rise
Yeah.
of a
Nice.
producer. So
Nice.
we started the song with him. It's lived in the vault for like years, and then showcased it on the show. Got all this feedback from Ryan Tedder and Esther Dean and Shane McAnally. Went back into the studio with this guy Stavros, who's in New York, who has also produced a song that's on the top 40 charts right now with this kid AJ Mitchell.
Okay.
And then got this finished version that we have now. So it's technically a super song by all these super producers and super writers released by this independent dude. So it's a really
and I
cool
mean,
story.
it sounds like it too, because when I saw the video, which the video we'll get to that in a minute. I mean, I was like, okay, this is gonna be in Creed 3. I mean, the song, the video, everything, it's meant for that. I mean, it's well produced. The lyrics are fantastic. Yeah. So, to me, I was like, why isn't this on a soundtrack? Now then I started seeing the comments, and that's when I saw Black Panther 2, Creed 3, the whole 9 yards. So I'm glad to see that, the rest of the world is feeling it as much as I am. And I just kind of like, what's your response to that? And, give us a little bit of background on the video itself, too, like the concept, the idea.
Yeah, man. So
The video came after Songland?
the video was shot after like a week and a couple days before the Songland episode was supposed to air.
Okay.
So months after Songland. Months after Songland. So the director of that video is a guy named Paul Brazil. The only reason I know Paul Brazil is because in a video that we shot years ago in like 2014, 2015, we're shooting our video. Our behind the scenes video guy like goes dark. He just doesn't show up. He can't make it. Meanwhile, we see up the street, it looks like we're literally on the streets of Brooklyn. It looks like some meetup for photographers. So I'm like, maybe they can do behind the scenes stuff. I can use this. So I go up and I ask them, I'm like, yo, are any of you guys good at doing video or editing? Like literally like the Red Sea party. They all separate and kind of look at Paul Brazil. He's looking down at his camera and looks up like, oh. Yeah, sure, I'll do it. He comes over, shoots the behind the scenes stuff for us, gives us his bomb ass edit one day later. And from then on, I was just like, yo, you're the man. He's like, no, man, I love your art. I love your art. No, bro, I love you. Let's work. For 4 years, never actually got to work. But I've been keeping it in my back pocket for the opportunity. So I hit him up. I'm like, Paul, we need this video done. And we both decided we wanted to have it be about boxers, right? Because we knew the song had a goal of being associated with athletics, right?
Oh, yeah.
And we want to eliminate the decision making and the imaginations for the gatekeepers. Make them be like, it's already a commercial, right?
Right.
So
Love
we knew
it.
we wanted to be about boxers. I had a guy who I was put in touch with who said he owned a gym in Bed-Stuy and had a boxer that I could use for it. The day before, and he's like, yeah, man, just let me know 24 hours notice. We'll shoot the video. Easy, done. I'm like, bet, cool. I'm a producer. Look at me go. I'm like, that's cool. Mergers, acquisitions. That sounds amazing.
Conglomerates.
Corner office.
Right.
All the departments.
Right.
Private bathroom.
Call Spielberg. I said $9 billion. So that's what I'm feeling. The day before, this dude hits me with the okie doke, and I'm like, "Yo, we're trying to film tomorrow. We still good with everything?" He's like, "Yeah, let me put you on the phone with my other partner." I get on the phone with some other guy. He's like, "Yeah, nigga, that other guy don't know shit. He don't run shit. I run the shit, and we're not doing the video unless you're ready to pay us some exorbitant amount of dollars." And we're like, "Shit."
Yeah.
So it's the day before the shoot.
Yeah.
Songland is airing in less than a week. I spent all this time on this other content, revamping my website, learning about search engine optimization so that when people Google me, they find my website. I've done all this work.
Right.
We need a piece of content done.
Yeah.
I get discouraged for about 30 seconds, and then I'm like, you know what? The universe has gotten me this far after so many almost whatever, and it's never let me down. Maybe this is an opportunity to prove my faith and just try to get something done. So I'm calling every gym in Brooklyn, and most of them are like, no, we don't want to do it. Some of them are like, yeah, we'll do it, but it's going to cost you $500 an hour, just outside of our budget we were willing to do.
Right.
And then one place was like, yeah, we can do it, we just can't do it tomorrow. And that day was the only day we had everybody in the same place. There was one place, Hail Mary shot, in Manhattan, across the river. Looked perfect. Looked too nice. I was like, these guys are gonna. There's no way this will work. It's too nice of a gym. This is like Mark Wahlberg is in there.
Right.
This is gonna be a fortune. Fuck it, dude. Don't close doors before they close themselves. Just sent the dude an email.
Love that.
Sent the dude an email and said, hey man, I just found out I'm going to be on this episode of NBC Songland. We're busting our ass to take advantage of the opportunity. I got a dope videographer. We don't have a budget, but we're happy to do a shout out at the end of the video, give you guys the footage for you to use on your social channels,
See?
and then give you shouts out on social media as well.
Yeah.
There it
I'm
is.
sitting there in a coffee shop, sleep deprived, working, not knowing what's going to happen next. An hour and a half later, a guy named Mark hits me up. He's like, hey, I'm looking for a guy named Afika. And I'm like, that's me, bro. He's like, look, I own Church Street Boxing Gym. Tell me about this video. I talked to him about it. After about 5 minutes, he's like, you know what? I'm a Brooklyn guy. I got to take care of my Brooklyn artists. Why don't you come by? Why don't you come by tomorrow? We're going to do the video for you. And I'm like,
Wow.
like, man, you talk about, it was like simultaneously relief, but also just like victory feeling. Yeah. And I'm like, all right, Mark, you've been so helpful. One more question.
You didn't call him Mike, did you?
I didn't call him Mike, no.
Clark.
That's Bill, sir.
Listen, Jehoshaphat. You're so amazing.
You know, ain't got no electricity in there.
Right. So then I'm like, last thing, do you have any boxers who are rising stars who might want to raise their profile by being in a video that might get some views on it? He's like, bro, you're describing every boxer in my gym. He's like, I'm going to get you a guy. We're going to make this work. He gives me this dude named Sid the Jackal on Instagram is his name.
Okay.
Sid was so cool. He worked so hard. We got like the perfect little back gym to ourselves, like with the lighting and everything. It was amazing. It was really, really great. And I had like cool friends who were willing to donate their time and energy so that I could have 5 heads at once instead of running all over the place trying to do it all by myself.
Right.
You know. So it was dope, man. It was dope.
It looks good. I mean, honestly, it's a good-looking video. It looks very
It's
freshly
definitely
done.
a win.
Yeah.
All the way around.
All the way
It's
through and
It's
through.
just like the beginning.
Yeah.
It's a
You know?
commercial.
Yeah,
It's a
it is.
commercial for Paul, the director, a commercial for me with the song.
Everybody involved.
Everybody involved. The gym, the
Yeah.
boxer.
Somebody, Under Armour, Nike's going to give you a call. Can we use this?
Oh,
And
yeah.
logo all
Bro,
over
Just
this.
hit up
That's-
Dwayne.
as
You
soon
know
as
The Rock.
Yeah,
I was going to say,
Right,
you know The
you know
Rock.
The Rock.
The Rock will be all up in that thing, okay?
so
He just
right.
edit his big head in.
Yeah.
I'm sitting over here like a proud mama looking at him. Like, I'm just so proud of
I
my
know. I wish
baby.
we was recording this. We got to get the cameras in here on the next one.
Funny.
So as far as before we get to your single with Jay Timber, I gotta ask. You know, we're a big pop culture podcast here. The EP's named Black Jon Snow. We're Game of
Yeah.
Thrones fans,
Yes.
so where
Hell
did
yeah.
this come about?
Man, I'm gonna tell you what. All right. So first off, that song "Chosen" was part of a body of work that we decided that we wanted to have one audio trademark of it, and that trademark we called Afro-Stacks. It's basically stacked African vocals. Like if you ever listen to Ladysmith Black Mambazo, just that like stacked kind of gospel sound, that whole thing. That's the trademark sound of the whole body of work, right? So we started off with that. Then Game of Thrones came out, and I fell in love with it. Let me tell you, when I tell you how much I love that show, when new seasons drop, I'll watch an episode, take a breather, watch it again that night, give it a couple days, watch it again on Tuesday, and then watch the next episode. Like,
Yeah.
I'm upset. Like, I have my favorite episodes down, so I love that show. And I started asking myself, why do I forgive the fact that there's no real black protagonist in the show?
Right.
Like, it's an amazing show, and normally I try to be woke enough to analyze like what are the subverted narratives they're giving us through the show that are secretly kind of down in white people, because that's a bit not white people, black people. It's a big thing in Hollywood.
Right.
Happens all the time.
Right.
So I try to watch the show through that lens, and I still forgive the show because I love the story that much. And then I'm literally sitting at the Songland set. Talking with this same guy, Jeff Goldford, where we're talking about Game of Thrones. I'm talking about how I got this body of work I want to put out and leverage the exposure on the show to finally get it out into the universe, because ain't no label coming to like knock down my door while I'm in my Brooklyn studio and be like, oh, hey, Afika, oh my God, here's $12 million.
So glad I caught you.
We've been waiting to make you famous. Like, it's kind of a fantasy. It's more like do what you can with what you got. So I'm like, let me get this shit out into the universe. And he's like, dude, just call it Black Jon Snow. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, dude, just make it very, very syncable. Make it a sync project so you can get it in like film and television.
Right.
Call it Black Jon Snow. And I'm like, nigga, you crazy. What are you talking about, Jeff? I can't call it Black Jon Snow. He's like, dude, it's perfect. It's simple. Black Jon Snow. Even take off a couple of letters. Black Jon Snow. Easy.
Even people that don't watch Game of Thrones would know.
Would know what that
who
is.
Jon
And the
Snow
more I
is.
thought about it, the more I'm like, shit. Yeah. Don't overthink it. Just do it. And so we started just doing it. Coolest thing, though, is as dope as this video is for Chosen, we actually got to go out to Utah for the same creative agency I was telling you about. We went to go like visit some clients and stuff in Utah. Decided to just make it a creative super trip. We shot 2 other dope ass
I heard it's
videos.
gorgeous out there.
Dude, I fell in love with you. Have you seen me rocking my hat on Instagram? The kind of cowboy hat, Indiana Jones looking shit. Literally, that is inspired by how in love I fell with Utah. Yeah, I call it my Sundance chic look now. I fucking love this shit. But yeah, we got 2 other videos shot out in the Salt Flats in Utah with the
Nice.
red camera. It looks like a movie. It's a movie. And then another one shot in southern Utah that we're about to put out. So,
Did you see any cars go down the Salt Flats? Like full speed?
yo, actually, yeah.
That is
only
a dream.
one. Dude, yo, you'd love it. I was gonna say, when we were talking about road trips earlier,
Yo.
you and we literally need to block off like
Do
a
you-
month or 2 months.
What were we just talking about just a minute ago?
Get your
I need
calendar
to
right.
get my calendar
Get your
right.
calendar
and just
right.
Yeah.
Do crazy. I want to do stuff like that all
and
the
just
time.
look, man, and make it about like
Bonneville, man. Bonneville.
spread the music, but also just like live, like spread the joy,
It's
spread the happiness.
Yes. You know,
Seriously.
yeah, I'm down.
Yeah, I would love
Down.
to do
I'm about
that.
to cancel some dates, right?
I need some wilderness in my life.
Yo,
man.
I just need the road.
You got the hat
Yeah.
for it now.
I need
I got
the
the
road.
hat. Yeah.
I got
Now
overalls
you just need
on.
the Winnebago.
Have you seen my hat?
Seen his Grimsley hat.
We need a road trip.
So the single with you two, Hysteria, right? That's how you say it?
Hysteria.
Hysteria. Good.
Hysteria.
I'm normally, a little bit of background on me. I know you haven't been on the show before. I don't like to. I fuck up words and sentences all the time. So I'm actually proud of myself when
You
I get it
almost
right.
like to.
Yeah. So I'm proud of myself for getting it right. But tell me a little bit about that single. I heard it today on SoundCloud. Absolutely love it. So give us a little bit of background on that.
Man, that one was like, we made that one years ago. Years. Who's that calling?
No, it's just my tile went off in my pocket.
That's right. So
Because-
it's your agent.
Hollywood,
Yeah.
Hollywood over here.
Jay-Z.
Hollywood Timber.
Yeah, I love Beyonce.
It's
Good
Dwayne.
play, ho.
It's Dwayne. Dwayne's calling in.
Dwayne.
That's so funny. Yeah, we made that song. We made that song years ago, and it was pretty much about. That was at a time when it was like I was a returning college student. I was one of these dudes who like kind of went out into the world and tried to do something, and then went back to school just to try to be safe and make my mom proud, that sort of stuff. So you go back to school and you're like this older dude looking at all these younger kids, not knowing that they don't know shit about the real world. They don't know anything about it. They're just running around in what's basically a glorified summer camp. What university is, you know, on campus. It's summer camp with some homework, you know?
Right.
And like just
Nerds.
listening to how they like make the transition into the real world, it also made me think like how crazy everybody is. Like what are we doing? We're going to a glorified summer camp in order to get a piece of paper that says we're good enough to work for somebody else, to trade in our time for a little bit of money to make somebody else richer. Like that's what we're doing.
Your
And
greater,
everybody's doing it.
Your greater years, even.
Yeah,
You know, like-
your greater years, yeah. And so the song was kind of motivated by that, like me feeling crazy that I'm looking at this crazy decision, yet I'm still doing it. Also, the world generally looking crazy and just feeling like,
Fuck that.
what the fuck is going on? Yes. Is this the Matrix? Am I here right now?
Yeah.
And then JT came through, laced that hook, laced that hook, and yeah, it's a cool song.
Dig it. Definitely dig it. You guys got I feel like I got all the questions going on. Jerry, Matthew, you guys got any questions?
Yeah, I'm just.
It's just good to see you again.
Yes.
man.
Man, yeah. Let's talk about
I
that.
haven't seen him in years. Like we met through mutual friends, John Michael,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
our
Yeah, a resident friend and
resident
photographer.
photographer,
Hell yeah.
and
Hell yeah.
Evan.
Yeah.
Evan. I'll never forget.
E-Dub.
We were stoned on the couch at Evan's crib.
Yo.
And you had just played this song, and you were like, it started out with like the movie guy, like In a World.
Are you ready?
Yeah, Scorcher.
One man. This summer.
That's pretty damn good.
It was good, and I was super stoned. So I'm like,
You thought you were in the movie.
Mad high.
What movie we watching? Who popped in the movie?
Yo, let's ride out to that right now. All windows down.
Playing right now?
That's so funny. Dude, those nights were so... Do you know what's special? Those nights literally brought more life into the world. Because Jennifer... So I'm going to give you guys some backstory.
Yeah, yes, please.
We're at this guy Evan's house, and we'd have this tradition of like... We'd have this tradition of just hanging out late at night. We're all service industry, so we're getting all off work late at night.
Represent.
Yeah, all we want to do is play some music,
Go jam, yeah.
smoke some weed, and just hang out. It's kind of like we're a little bit the Lost Boys, like in our 20s, pre full on adulthood, but post like high school, just kind of in this middle ground. But we were
Right.
very lucky to have each other in that state. Anyways, during that same time period, I go to College Hill one night. I meet this chick Jennifer. She's real cute. I think we're about to hook up. We go back to her place. What ends up happening is so much better than hooking up.
Now,
hear that
now,
often?
when you tell the story now,
in
yeah.
retrospect,
You don't hear that often.
in retrospect now, right? She ends up whipping out her like cello and her guitar and plays me some songs that she had never played for anybody before. They blew me away so much that I'm like, yo, you gotta come over to my boy's place. We have this thing where we just hang out and play music every night. You gotta come play this music. So she decides to come over. And mind you, we go to Evan's house. She walks in, she plays her songs. Naturally, everybody loved them like I knew they would. Evan starts crushing on her. Me and Evan have a talk on the porch. I'm like, hey, I see you're eyeing the new girl. And bro, we literally have this like tumbleweed stare down, smoking a cigarette, and vocally out loud we go, may the best man win. I'm not even kidding you. Here's why that story is excellent. Evan won, married her, put a baby in her. They just had their second baby. Their second baby was born on my 33rd birthday this year. So much better than us hooking up that night.
Divine.
And now she's touring the damn country with the two babies in the
And the
RV
little white baby's
playing
name
music.
is Afika.
Right. That's the best part. Yes.
You heard it here first. You can't make this shit up. Damn. Wow.
Those are good days.
That might be a best story ever told on a podcast.
We had a lot of good times. The Tiba was around.
Yeah.
I used to play chess with the Tiba there.
Oh, I love
and-
Atiba.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are the days.
Gracewood.
Gracewood. Oh, you're talking about the Gracewood house.
Gracewood
I thought we were
house.
talking about the Guilford house.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
How
the
many
Guilford
houses we
house.
got?
Guilford house too.
When he tagged the wall.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Yeah.
That too.
Allegedly.
Across the street from Westerwood.
Exactly. Yeah. Yo, the Gracewood house. It would
Gracewood
go
house.
down at the Gracewood house. I thought we were talking about the Guilford house this whole time.
It's a different house.
Shit.
That's the after party.
Yeah. Wow. That's
So how did you two hook up on Five? Did you guys know each other before that, or what's the story on when you guys were touring with Five?
Who said you want to tell the story? I'll tell it.
I mean, you tell it. 'Cause I do a whole lot
Let's
of
see.
time.
Let's see who tells a more accurate story.
Man, this is also a great
We worked
story.
over him a million times.
So I knew JT because he's a talented cat. You can't go far without knowing his name in like the music scene, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was playing in Urban Sophisticates. JT would come and you kind of
Little brother.
this little brother vibe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But then years later, I just gotten done with what was like a record deal situation in London where it kind of fell through because of bad business practices and some other stuff. So I come back to Greensboro. I'm a little bit discouraged about music generally. I'm a little bit burnt out, kind of gun shy. But I see there's this band Five who's doing shows, and I know JT and I trust JT, and I knew Benton and I trusted Benton.
Right.
And so I started doing a couple shows with them because they just had a need for a guy like a lead vocalist. And after doing a couple shows, JT came over to my apartment where I'm living with my brother. And he sat down on the couch directly across from me. And he's like,
Mafia style, bro.
Mafia
I
style.
put the gun on the table, a stack of money.
Was he petting a cat?
Sales pitch of the year. He's like, man, you need to join Five. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, I love doing the shows. I don't know if I need to be in a band. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing right now. He's like, dude, you know I'm a monster. I know you're a monster. Together, we can be a two-headed monster.
Legit said that.
And
Legit
to this
said
day,
that.
that's like our branded relationship to a point where the other day, the funniest shit in the world, it's at the watch party for the Songland thing. And he's like JT had been so helpful, like just getting me set up and everything. He's like, man, come on, you know I got your back. You know why I got your back? And I was like, cause we got the same bag. And he's like, my nigga! We literally like
hulking. We were hulking out at Dram and Draft. At Dram and Draft, you would have thought someone just poured hot sauce in my asshole.
Everybody's looking like,
What the hell? Oh,
Are they
they're-
about to fight?
they're
Or
black.
hug? I don't even know.
It's getting dark.
It was so funny.
Yeah.
Two-headed monster.
Two-headed
No,
monster. I've
That's
always-
gonna be like a label name or something.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be our studios and whatever. But like
That's the collab
ever
album.
since
Exactly.
collab album.
ever since I was like, and I say little, I mean I was 17, 18 when I came into the scene, so to say, and I just had such a great respect for Afika and Benton. Shout out to Benton up in New York doing his thing, and the rest of the guys, I just like I am now. I wanted to learn, and I was so eager, I'm sure I was almost a pest. Because for a while, like, I knew him for a while, but, like, we didn't know each other. I was just at the shows because I was a fan. And I wanted to do what they were doing. And so it was to the point where I was just like, yo, man, I felt like I was like, what's up? Yeah, cool, man. Yeah, man. Like they be like talking, like they be having a conversation. Like 3 people are standing together, and they're like standing in the triangle of conversation. And I'd be like, kind of like out to the side, like, yeah, man. And I'd wait. It's like waiting for double dutch, right? And I'm waiting for something where I could be like, you know, and then like I could get my word in and be like, okay, who is this guy? But he's trying, you know, he's trying this conversation. But like, it was just one of those things. I was just always around, and I wanted to work with him. And when that opportunity came up, like I remember Benton being like, "Oh yeah, Afika, you know, is gonna be filling in on some of the stuff," because I was doing all the singing and we had a rapper, and that's what we were missing out. And the thing that I kept thinking about was like, I knew he was starting to do the singing stuff, so I was like, well, it'd be workload off of me because, like I said, we were doing the full production. We were putting together a stage show, putting the lights together, all that stuff, and it's taxing in the end. And
you said you needed a moving buddy. You asked me to be in the band to help you carry the gear. That's what it was. I see it in retrospect now.
Well, initially, yeah.
I get it now.
Initially, yeah. If I'm being honest, but I was like, this is someone that I could move stuff with forever. You know, this is someone I could see moving stuff with for a long time.
I can move mountains.
You know, I can move mountains with this guy. 2 brothers in the van. You know what I'm saying? But it was like, you know, initially I was thinking of who would work the hardest with us. And that's all that for me, I saw 5 being 5 billion. You know what I mean? And so I was like, who could help me do this and do this the best? I felt like now, you know, we're looking at the NBA or whatever and everything that's happening. You got players going to teams. They're like, who's my homie that I know I could possibly win a championship with? Right. But I also am going to be cool with on the court because chemistry is so important in anything. Right. Yeah. And so
it's a long ass season.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And so I was just like, okay, so we, you know, it got in my head and I was like, yep, that's it. I want him to be in the band. And we had that conversation and it was just, ever since then, it's just, now we're like, I know no matter how much time goes on, no matter what, like we're always on the same wavelength. We won't say, there was a moment there where we were both just busy and months would go by and I'd shoot him a text or he'd shoot me a text and we'd die laughing.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we wouldn't say anything for another month. Right. You know, or I'd happen to be in New York and I'd be like, yo, I'm on tour, you know, I'm driving such and such around. And I got some time. We go get lunch or something somewhere. So it's just one of those things that I knew forever and always that we were going to be rocking. Yeah. And, you know, in the same way, like he was talking about with Paul Brazil, you know, like they'd work together and I knew that the time will come and I know there will be great things that we still have yet to us. And not just musically, just like he's been a person that's opened up my mind to, you know, a lot that's going on just in the world in general and how we can make an impact. Yeah. Not just musically, but as people. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And like we did a song, the Madiba song. Oh, yeah. That I was just able to be in the video. Yeah. And like stuff like I was aware, but I wasn't. You know what I mean? Sure. Right. And like he opened my eyes to like, we have a mouthpiece. We have a platform where we could say things that could change the world. Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm I'm in a space where like, you know, I just want to grow as an artist and I want to grow around the right people. And that's a person that's going to be first on my list. Like when the time comes, you know, whatever. Hey man, let's do this. It's happening. I don't know what.
This is not a drill. This is what we prepared
This is what we've been preparing for. Right. And like the thing that excites me also in watching his work ethic, it makes me want to work harder. Yeah. Because I know he's busting his ass. Mm-hmm. I know it's like New York is no fucking joke. God, no. You don't just go up there. And he's gone up there. And anytime I go up there, it's like, oh man, I'm sitting with the mayor. You know what I mean? Like, because we go around and he shows me everything and brings me into that world and links me up with his people. And so whenever he comes here, I'm like, well, I mean, we already know what it is. Right. You know, we've been running it around here forever. But like now, like I'm so into trying to be as plugged as possible. Anytime he comes in the city, I'm like, whatever you need, you better call me. Because I got you.
Like that.
Yeah. Whatever it is you need,
the other night, literally went. Where did you go? Did you drop off The other night, my friend was in town.
I dropped her off.
Dropped off my friend while I'm still sitting on the porch hanging out with people. He's like, "Yo, you need a ride home?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "I was gonna Uber." He's like, "You're not gonna Uber while I'm around.
Yeah.
I'll come to get you."
I can't like. That's just like.
I love it.
You know.
And you know what? I hope you never lose the thing. Like, you're talking about we have a mouthpiece and we can change the world. You already knew that. And you do it with your social interactions all the time. And I hope you never lose that part of you.
Agreed.
Because it ends up serving the world. Like, if you wouldn't have been that little brother, like photo bombing in the pictures and just hanging out and waiting to jump in the conversation, we wouldn't have known like a stage to put you on to serve your talent to the rest of the world and like more positive energy for us and all the stuff that we got to learn from you. And if you wouldn't have persuaded me to be in 5, I wouldn't have been able to play music and would have like, I could have said goodbye to all of it and just not ever gotten to make it.
I remember I could
right
hear
now.
it. That's like, for me, I'll never forget when we were sitting there talking about it. I felt like you were kind of like, yeah, I mean, you know, I'm cool with it, but like, I'm gonna figure something out. You know what I mean? I was like, no, you're too good to. This is what you should be doing the most.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then you're insanely talented and so insanely capable of everything else. You know what I mean? So it's like, but I just, whenever I think of it, like whenever you put out songs, I'm like, man, I see this being the biggest thing ever. And that's not just me saying that as a friend who believes in his friend. I'm just facts. Like, it sounds good. Everything he does is like, that shit is dope as fuck. You know what I mean? Like,
You exaggerate. Definitely not everything.
you know, everything that you
But I appreciate that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I rock to the stuff. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't just listen to music. I mean, I listen to music, yes, but
It's
like
genuine support.
But like I'm listening. You know, I'm the type. I'll never forget when Rat Attack came out. What I did was on my iPad, I just put it on repeat and I turned it down and just set it down and went on with my day just to get whatever I could do, like, because I know that stuff like that matters. At the end of the day, though, he's got good shit.
Yeah.
And that's what I want the world to know, in any way that I can help do that.
And anything that we can obviously to help you two gentlemen. I mean, you guys are the most talented fuckers in this town. Seriously.
Thank you.
Love having you on the show.
Now, I've seen you do Madiba acoustic by yourself all the time. Like, what did you...
I played djembe on it.
Okay.
I did. Well, not in the recording, because it was a song that he had already had, and we had brought it forth to 5.
Yeah.
And so we did that NPR.
We did, yeah. So that song had been written and recorded, but it didn't really have a home with it. So I decided to release it under the 5 name. So we shot the video all together. Did we do any ancillary production on it?
I didn't do anything on it.
No? Okay.
I didn't do. We had Josh King record vocal.
Josh King did vocals on it. Yep.
Shout out
the
to
guys
Josh King.
Super Yamba did.
Super Yamba did the percussion.
Drums, percussion. Jennifer has actually
Jennifer did vocals on it. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And you,
I
bro,
did.
I have a picture of us when we.
Yeah, I did some. I did some like background like
Yeah.
stuff on it, but it wasn't like.
I'm losing track of like creative experiences right now. So
Gift and a curse.
Yeah. We released it under the 5 umbrella and then ended up being featured for Nelson Mandela Day and like was on BBC,
All
NPR,
over,
all this stuff. Did that interview over at Tobacco Studios.
That was
over
cool,
in Durham.
man. We did. It was like it was for.
I think it was with
State
Frank
of Things?
Stacio. Yeah, the State of Things with Frank Stacio.
Yeah, it was, I remember it being like. I remember my friends that were in college are like, "Yo, dude, you're on like what? Like seriously, bro? That's super sick." You know what I mean? I was like, "Yeah." I didn't know like how big his expansion was. So yeah, man,
like,
it was
even then. Like when I saw you do that, it was more like I felt you do that because I was like,
Amazing.
I got dope friends that do dope shit, but that was something else. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
You're saying something else that people really need to hear.
Sure.
So that stuck with me.
yeah,
I appreciate that.
definitely.
Yeah, Nelson Mandela has always been a hero of mine just because, you know, you grow up without your pops around, you kind of find your surrogate examples, and, you know, he's a South African dude, he's Xhosa, which is my mom's tribe, so he's just a natural hero for me. That was a real fun experience.
Yeah.
It's funny, y'all ever seen that skit on SNL with Delicious Dish, something like that, with the two ladies where they talk really quiet?
Sweaty balls.
Sweaty balls.
Yeah.
Sweaty balls. I couldn't stop thinking about that when we made it to the NPR studios. I'm like,
They're
are
the
they
NPR
recording
ladies.
something about
That's how
sweaty
they talk.
balls? Yeah, they're totally NPR ladies.
So today we're gonna have 5 on. And,
Have a taste of my sweaty balls.
Your sweaty balls are quite delicious.
So, Afika, before we sign off, why don't you let the new fans out there know how to find you as far as your website, social media, SoundCloud, all that fun stuff.
For sure. All right, so first and foremost, website www.afika.life. Afika.life. Instagram __Afika __. That one's a little bit more annoying, but whoever owns straight up Afika is somewhere in the Philippines, and they haven't posted like anything.
Bastards.
And don't even respond to messages at all. But it's __ Afika __. Same thing with Twitter, 2 underscores on either side of Afika. And then youtube.com/Afika official, soundcloud.com/Afika official, facebook.com/Afika official.
There we go.
That's all
There
the
we
names,
go.
man.
Fika, Jay Timber, thank you guys so much for joining us today.
Yo,
It's been a couple
Greensboro's
fun
own.
sessions.
Y'all are the
Greensboro's
bomb.
very own.
Hell yeah.
Be on the lookout for them. These guys are on the rise, going to be doing big things. Hopefully Creed 3, Black Panther 2, who knows?
Come on, put it
Who
in
knows?
the universe.
The sky
Yes.
is the limit, baby.
Yeah.
Make sure you check us out. Big
make some
shout out
calls.
to our sponsors, Zibster and Yes Weekly. Check out our website, www.popculturepodcast.com, and we'll catch you on the next episode.
Peace.
Deuces.
Yeah! Victory!
And anger management?
Fuck anger management.